right, ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry about all of the confusion with our lessons today. My Chromebook that I was using at home, my personal Chromebook, completely froze and would not do anything for quite a while. So I had to leave that at home. Hopefully by the time I get back this afternoon, it's working. But also at school, my computer at school is not working either, and that is in the tech department. So I currently have no Chromebook that I can use to do my distance learning with. So I am using Mrs. Holguin's small little tablet device. So please bear with me as it's new to me, and I'm just going to try and make it work. Okay, so this was our DLI for today. So it says, correct the sentence. The sentence says, my favorite game is chess. Do you know how to play? So normally I would do this in a Pear Deck, but obviously right now it's different. So pause the video. You can either write on a piece of paper or a whiteboard your corrections to the sentence, or just think about the 4 things in the sentence that need to be fixed. And then when you're ready, you can resume the video and we'll go over the answers. Okay, so the first thing that I see that needs to be fixed is the word my. Needs to be a capital. We need a capital N at this word because it's the first word of our sentence, and every time we start a new sentence, we have to have a capital letter. We talked about that yesterday too. My favorite game is chess. That's the end of my thought. This other thought here, do you know how to play, is a completely different thought. So I have a period here after chess, and then I'm starting a new sentence with do you know how to play. So this D right here needs to become a capital D because I'm starting a new sentence. Do you know how to play? I'm actually asking a question there. So I would have a question mark, not an exclamation point. Okay, so I see 1, 2, 3, 4 problems that needed to be fixed in this sentence. All right, so this week we're talking about types of sentences, and there are 4 types of sentences that we are going to be talking about today. You will have a quiz on this on Friday, where you will have to identify or name the types of sentences and state the correct punctuation that goes at the end of the sentence, okay? So the first type of a sentence we're going to talk about is a command. A command is when you tell somebody to do something, and it always ends in a period, okay? So an example of a command might be clean your room, or let's say your dad says do the dishes, or your sister says stop hanging out in my room. Anything like that where someone is telling you what to do, okay? And it ends in a period. So that's a command. You are commanding somebody. You are telling somebody to do something. The second type of sentence we're talking about is an exclamation. This one's super easy because exclamations end in exclamation points, okay? An exclamation is when you say something with excitement. So an example would be, we won the championship. You'd pronounce that, you would say that differently than if you had said, we won the championship, right? This is something that's exciting. You want your readers to know that you're excited about it. So you put an exclamation point at the end of these types of sentences, okay? They can also be said with fear. So if you're afraid of something and you're like, oh my goodness, the lightning last night was crazy, you would put an exclamation point at the end, okay? If you're a little bit afraid of it or excited about it. Okay, the third type is a statement. This is the most common type of sentence that you'll see. It's just a regular sentence. It's something that just tells something exactly how it is. It makes a statement or it expresses an opinion. It always ends in a period. An example might be, I like your shoes today, okay? So basically a statement is a regular sentence that doesn't tell somebody what to do, so it's not a command. It's not exciting, so it's not an exclamation point, and it's not a question. You're just saying something, okay? That's a statement. And last, we have questions. Of course, questions, ask somebody a question. They always end in a question mark as well. So an example would be, do you have a dog? Do you like the Giants? Anything like that, okay? Questions that you're asking people. They usually start with the 5 W's and 1 H, which is who, what, when, where, why, and how. Okay? So those are the 4 types of sentences. You will have a chance to study these tomorrow in your games on McGraw-Hill Wonders, so make sure you're doing that because tomorrow I'm not going to be seeing you guys in a whole group setting. You will be studying for your grammar and your vocab quizzes, and this is kind of what your quiz is going to be based off of on Friday. So tomorrow when we're doing our small group time, so on your schedule it'll say small groups. If you're not being invited to a small group from a teacher, then you're totally fine. You don't have to worry about it. Then you will have a ton of time to study for your grammar quiz on Friday and your vocab quiz on Thursday. So I am going to show you how you're going to study for both of those. So first, if you go to classwork and you go to resources, these are all of the videos that we've shown you about how to use the different tools. Okay, so the one that I really want you to focus on is the McGraw-Hill Wonders website. Okay, this is super important for studying. Okay, McGraw-Hill's website. This is where you will log into McGraw-Hill through ClassLink. You will click on the orange controller that has the games. There are 2 games in there for you. One is your vocab quiz, or not vocab quiz, sorry. One is your vocab game and one is your grammar game. Both of those you can play as many times as you want to practice for your quizzes, okay? So the first thing you're going to do is go into McGraw-Hill and practice your vocab game and your grammar game. A second tool for you is also under classwork, but it's right here under writing, grammar, and vocab, because that's what we're doing, right? So I have made some flashcards for you through Quizlet, which hopefully you've used before in science or any of your other classes. So I have already put all of your words here in this slideshow of cards. And so all you have to do is read the word, try and think of or say out loud the definition, then you can click on it to see if you're correct. Down at the bottom here, there's a couple different ways to study. You can totally play with that. There's flashcards, which I'm in now. There's a test where you can see how well you are doing and how many words you already know. And then I like the area where it says play, because those are a couple different games you can do. I personally like the matching game where you have to match the word to the correct definition. It just kind of makes studying a little bit more fun. And also down at the bottom, you can see all of the terms in the set. Okay, so that's how you're going to study for tomorrow. Okay, my friends, the very last part of your lesson that we missed today is about how to write an email. Okay, and I know it seems simple. A lot of you probably use email already, but you would be surprised how many of you are not using it correctly, okay? So make sure you are paying attention in this lesson. So emails, let me get rid of that, perfect. Emails are messages that are sent to one another through a device. So I'm sending an email, a message to you from my computer to yours. All of your school emails end in @dcjesd.us, okay? And that's my email right there. This slideshow is also up for you on your Google Classroom if you need to look back at it, okay? Okay, my email is cncoulter. Make sure you don't put C Coulter because otherwise you're going to email my mom. And as lovely and friendly as she is, she probably does not want emails from you. So make sure you put the N in my email, okay? All right, how to get to your Gmail. So if you open up a new tab and you're logged into your account, you can click the dots right there. We like to call that the waffle because it kind of looks like a waffle. And you click on the red and white envelope that says Gmail. It'll bring you to your Gmail homepage, and to start a new message, you click Compose, okay? And it will bring this page up to you. Now, this is super important, okay? In 2, that's where you type in the email address or the name, if you're in your school account, of the person you are emailing. So, for example, if you're sending me an email, that's where you would type in cncoulter@dcjesd.us. Okay, this is the important part. The subject, that is where you type in the purpose of your email in just a couple words. I say 5 words or less. Please, 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 I cannot say this enough. Do not type your email here in subject. That's not where your email goes. Please, please, please don't do that. That's just where you tell us what you are emailing about. So, for example, if you have a question about math, you would just write math question. You don't actually ask your question in that box right there. Where you do type your email and ask your question, is right underneath, okay? So right underneath, I would start my email the same way I would start a letter, by addressing the person I'm emailing. So dear blank, or hi blank, obviously blank's their name. So here I said, hi, Mrs. Holguin. There should be a comma there. Then you click enter, and you start typing your message, whatever you want to say below that. So I said, hi, Mrs. Holguin. How was your first day of school? Mine was awesome. I have such great students this year. Then I click enter again. See how I have a space here? That's where I clicked enter. Sincerely, that's my farewell address. So it could be sincerely, have a great day, thank you, whatever you want to, however you want to end your letter and say goodbye. You have your farewell, sincerely, and then you type your name. Then when you're ready, you can click this blue send button at the bottom. Okay, so that is how you write an email. Pretty simple. Couple of other features of email, just if you want to know. You can change the font of your email if you want by clicking right here where it says sans serif. It comes up with a couple of different fonts. This one right here is my favorite to use because I think it's just playful and fun. You don't have to change your font, of course, but you're welcome to if you would like to. Kind of makes emailing a little bit more fun. A couple of things you can also change in email are this font size, so how big your letters are. That's right here, the little t and the big T. That changes the size of your words. You can bold your words. You can make them italicized, which means slanted, or you can underline your words. You also can change the color of your font of your words. So if you want your words to be purple, you can make them purple. Just make sure that they're dark enough where somebody can actually read them. You also can include bullet points in your email as well if you're trying to list something, but you probably won't have to do that very often. Okay? All right, couple other things. If you would like to attach a file that you have downloaded on your computer, you can click the little paperclip right there and search your files to attach something. You can use emojis in your emails as well. Just make sure you're keeping those school appropriate, of course. And lastly, you can insert a picture. So if for whatever reason you can't do your homework online, you can't turn it in online, you can take a picture of your homework and email it to us. Or not homework because we won't have homework, but just regular classwork. But you can take a picture and email it to us, okay? All right. Your last step, of course, is to hit this big blue button where it says send, and that will send your email. And once it's sent, there's no getting it back, okay? So a couple of things to remember about email. First, everything you type on your school account is saved, which means anyone can see it. Ooh, red is not the good color to underline right now. Anyone can see it. Your school account that you have, so the @DCJ, all of that fun stuff, that is owned by the district, not by you. You do not own your email, which means you are only expected to use it for school purposes, okay? That's just a reminder. Here's my philosophy for everything regarding internet work and life. Never put anything on the internet through Gmail, social media, whatever, that you wouldn't want your grandma or your parents or your teachers to see, because they can. Okay, so if you're writing something in an email and you would be super embarrassed if your teacher read it or if your principal read it or if your parents read it, that's your first clue. You should not be putting that on the internet or writing that in an email. Okay, so just remember that with Gmail. Here is your activity today. You are going to write an email to Mrs. Coulter. These are some of the things you can include, but you do not have to. I'm looking for at least 5 sentences. Oh, wow, it's really slow. So at least 5 sentences, okay? So some of the things that I need you to include is this first one. What's your name and who's your homeroom teacher? That way when I'm grading this, I'm not like, oh my goodness, I know the student, but I can't remember which teacher they're in. So I do want you to include that, your name, homeroom teacher. And then the rest of this stuff is optional of what you want to include. So you can tell me what you're looking forward to this year, what you're not looking forward to this year, what your favorite subject is in school, what your least favorite subject is, and then anything else you want me to know. You don't have to include all of this. If you want to tell me other things or ask me questions, that's totally up to you, however you choose to go about that. Okay? All right, my friends, that was our lesson for today. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to see you in Zoom, but I look forward to reading your emails. Have a great rest of your day.